Hey guys, Mystery Wheel Gunner back here with you again. Apologies in advance for any rain or thunder you may hear. It didn't rain all day, but when I decide to do this little video, guess what? The storm runs in. Whatever. Anyway, on to the video. I want to give a big welcome to all you new gun owners out there. Yeah, we see you. You've been making some headlines. You've been clearing out gun shops of all their inventory, to which I say, hey, you know what? Welcome to the club. Unfortunately, you had to get your guns during a pandemic. Would have been nicer if you would have been gun owners under more pleasant circumstances. It would have been a more pleasant experience at the store. But, welcome nonetheless. And now that you are new gun owners, hopefully you can see just how badly gun ownership and gun owners have been portrayed in an increasingly anti-gun media. They like to portray gun owners as a bunch of trigger-happy yahoos just looking to blow someone away, or we're paramilitary kooks, or we're racists or something. And you guys can see for yourselves that's not true. Just because you own a gun now doesn't mean you're suddenly looking to kill somebody. It doesn't mean you're going to join some, paramilitary organization to try and overthrow the government. It doesn't mean you're suddenly going to join some racist group. You are the exact same law-abiding citizen now with a gun that you were before you had a gun. Only difference, of course, being that now that you have the gun, you are better able to defend yourself effectively in a time of crisis or a time of emergency. And speaking of crisis and emergencies, it's a well-known fact that during those times, law enforcement can be overwhelmed, or at the very least, they can become lessened in their efficiency. For example, during this COVID-19 pandemic, they're not quite overwhelmed, but a few police departments have already made the announcements that they will not be responding to certain types of calls. This is to try and curb their officers' exposure to the general public as part of the ongoing effort to try and slow the spread of the COVID-19 virus. And this is all good and well, but it is an example of a circumstance that is now negatively impacted law enforcement's efficiency. And in these times, guess what? Yeah, it's more than a little reassuring, isn't it? To know that you will be able to effectively defend yourself and your family with a firearm. Now, moving beyond the self-defense aspect of firearms, hopefully after this whole pandemic is over with, you will continue your journey of firearms ownership. There are training classes you can take to improve your efficiency with your firearm. Think of these training classes as like martial arts, but for guns. Anyone can throw a kick or a punch, but someone trained in martial arts will be able to throw a kick or a punch more effectively. Same with guns. Anyone can pull the trigger and point the barrel at something, but a trained person will be able to be a better gunfighter. Aside from training, there are also the recreational aspects. And yes, I know, and I want you to know, the Second Amendment was not written to preserve a hobby. Okay, the Second Amendment is here to secure the right to keep and bear arms. That being said, there is a rather large aspect to firearms recreational shooting, recreational activities, whether it's informal competition, pro-am, or even the pro competitions. I'm not going to be able to go over all the recreational activities, but I'll try to go over some of them. Many of you bought shotguns for home defense, an excellent choice. But guess what? You can shoot recreationally with it as well. You can go try trap or skeet shooting. I'm not sure what the big difference is between trap or skeet. I've tried it on an informal basis, nothing competition-wise, just me and a buddy getting the clay thrower out and shooting some clays out of the sky. Pretty fun. Now, sometimes if you go to a range that has clay shooting, you'll see the people with the highfalutin double barrel over and unders or those slick semi-auto shotguns. You don't need one of those to begin with. Just take your basic home defense shotgun and shoot some clays with it. And hey, try it a few times, and if you like it, this might be your new hobby, and you can go ahead and save up for that highfalutin, clay shooting shotgun. Another recreational event that's become fairly popular is Steel Challenge. What is Steel Challenge? Oh, there's some thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Anyway, Steel Challenge is, think of it as drag racing, but for guns. You're given a series of steel targets to shoot at that you have to shoot as quickly as possible. So it is a timed event. Obviously, the quickest time wins. The nice thing about Steel Challenge is your basic handgun that you bought. If you didn't buy a shotgun, more than likely you bought a handgun. That basic handgun you bought, you can use that in Steel Challenge. Now, of course, you'll see some people with high-priced competition guns, and that's fine. They're really into it. But it doesn't mean you have to have one of those. You can take your basic handgun, whether you bought a high point or whether you bought some, highfalutin H&K or Sig Sauer. You can take that gun and do some Steel Challenge with it. Unfortunately, I don't have any video handy of me at the Steel Challenge matches I went to. They were really fun, but I don't know where the footage went. Anyway, just look up Steel Challenge matches on YouTube, and you'll find a whole bunch of videos. They'll have some information to give you more details on what you're going to need for Steel Challenge. You don't need a whole lot of specialized equipment. Just your gun, a few extra mags, eye and ear protection, holster, and then that's pretty much it. Anyways, go look up the videos. You'll get more info. You'll get to see what it's all about. Trust me, it's pretty fun. It's one of those events where it's easy to learn, easy to pick up, but hard to master. All right, I just want to wrap up this video now. I don't want to make it too long, but I do want to mention the cowboy action shooting stuff. I haven't tried this yet, but I really want to. For those of you who've never heard about this, you're probably going to think I'm joking, but it is one of the quirkiest but coolest things I've ever heard of. It's Western cosplay mixed with action shooting. Yeah, I kid you not. One of the requirements for cowboy action shooting is you got to come dressed as an Old West type of character. Now, of course, most people will go for the basic cowboy or cowgirl look, but look up the videos on cowboy action shooting. A lot of people get pretty creative. I've seen matches where people come in dressed as like a sheriff or a bandit or some mountain man fur trapper or one of those, well-dressed, dapper-looking gamblers. People get pretty creative. The only real downside to cowboy action shooting is you do have to get some specialized gear. You can't just show up with a Glock or your AR-15. That's not going to work. You have to use the cowboy-style weaponry. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go and try to find the old antiques. There are many companies out there that create modern-day versions or modern-day reproductions of old Wild West guns that are approved for use in cowboy action shooting. But alright, I'm going to wrap up the video now. I don't want to make this video too long. Just wanted to give a big welcome to all the new gun owners. Welcome to the club. Hopefully you'll see now the true nature and the importance of gun ownership. And again, hopefully you will continue on your gun ownership journey, explore all the aspects from training to recreational use, all that good stuff. All right, I'm the Mystery Wheel Gunner. Catch you guys next time. Oh, just an addendum here. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many of the ranges that host these recreational events like Steel Challenge or cowboy action shooting, more than likely those events are on hiatus for right now. But don't let that discourage you. Think of this as giving you time to research which ranges are in your area and which matches that they usually host. Go visit their websites and look for an update as to when these matches and competitive events will make a return.